Hare Krishna. We'd like to welcome all of you all to this very important event, the International Ayurveda Day. And on this occasion of the International Ayurveda Day, I'm going to share with you all a very interesting topic known as Hanuman and herbs. Hanuman, obviously, is one of the most famous personalities in the Vedic culture. But along with Hanuman being famous, he is also a healer. I'm sure you have some idea about his healing abilities, but I'm going to tell you a lot more that you may not be aware of. Hanuman plays a very crucial role in the Ramayana, and he prominently plays two roles. Of the many other roles that he plays, I'm just focusing on these two roles that he does in the Ramayana. One is he heals people physically, and second, he heals people mentally. Let me begin with the mental healing part first. When Hanuman enters into the Ramayana, the entry of Hanuman in the Ramayana is just amazing. The first time Hanuman enters the Ramayana is when Sugriv, who is one of the Vanara leaders, is in great panic. On the Rishimukha mountains, he has seen Ram and Lakshman below, but he somehow has this feeling that Ram and Lakshman have come to kill him. They've been sent by Vali to eliminate him. So Sugriv is in a great panic. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to handle it. And he's just so scared. Whenever there is uncertainty in life, we tend to go into a panic mode and we lose our mental balance. Sugriv was completely lost in panic. And that is when Hanuman enters the Ramayana for the first time. And Hanuman, when he enters the Ramayana, the first thing he tells Sugriv is, don't worry, there is no fear on the mountain. Someone whose mind is troubled doesn't need advice, but needs hope. Hanuman is the personification of hope in this world. And therefore, whenever anyone is in great trouble, physically, mentally, emotionally, in terms of some disease and illness, what people need first is not a solution. First thing they need is hope. They need someone to tell them, don't worry, everything will be fine. Mental healing is a lot connected with the idea of hope. Doctors, physicians, nurses, anyone connected to the healing industry, the most important role they need to play of all the many other roles they play is this role of giving hope to people. When doctors actually do not play this role of giving hope to people, they actually lose the connection with people. People come to doctors, people come to healers, mainly seeking hope that somebody is there who will say, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Hanuman, beyond this role of healing on a mental level by giving hope, he does something on a physical level also. It's not that you just give people hope on the mental level and that's all. You don't help them when they're in trouble. In the Hanuman Chalisa, which is a book that I've written recently, it has many, many stories of every verse, every chopai of Hanuman Chalisa with explained through stories. One of the very important verses in connection with Hanuman's healing abilities, is this one, which says, Laye Sajivine Lakhan Jiyai, Shri Raghuveer Harishi Udlai. In this verse, it talks about how Hanumanji helped Lakshman heal by getting him the Sanjeevani Path. So let me just quickly tell you the story and explain the deeper insight on of how Hanuman helped. At some point during the battle of Ram Ravan in Lanka, there was a particular situation where Indrajit, the son of Ravan, comes in, and Indrajit has so many mystical powers that he just can hide, become invisible, and attack. So in one of his invisible attack modes, he shot many arrows at Ram and Lakshman, and these arrows, it it hurt Lakshman so badly. It wounded the chest of Lakshman so badly that he fell unconscious. And practically, when Lakshman fell, the entire Vanara army got confused, bewildered, and had a sense of loss of hope because one of their most prominent leaders is almost dead. and no one had any idea what to do and how to deal with it. And that's when Jambavan comes in. Jambavan, he so Indrajit, when he attacks, he not only attacks Lakshman, but he attacks the entire Vanara army. And the attack is so brutal that thousands and thousands of Vanaras are dead. And the panic that ensues when Lakshman falls um, causes more pain and chaos. At that point in time, Jambavan walks in, sees that Lakshman is unconscious. The first question that he asks is a very interesting question. The first question that Jambavan asks is Hanuman alive? He doesn't ask if Ram is alive, he doesn't ask if Lakshman is alive, he doesn't ask if Sugriv is alive, he only asks if is Hanuman alive. Because Jambavan knows if Hanuman is alive, then everything is possible. So Hanuman comes in, and Jambavan tells Hanuman to go to the Drunachal mountains, which is way up in the Himalayas, and get four herbs. The first herb, Jambavan tells Hanuman to get is known as Mrita Sanjeevani. And this particular herb, the Mrita Sanjeevani herb, could restore a dead man to life. The second herb Jambavan tells Hanuman to get is known as Shailya Karni. Shailya Karni could extract embedded weapons and quickly heal wounds. The third herb the Jambavan tells Hanuman to get is known as Suvarna Karni. This restores the body to its original color and original texture. And finally, the fourth herb that Jambavan tells Hanuman to get is known as Samdhani. This unites fractured bones and severed limbs. So if somebody's limb is severed and you need to join it back, this is the herb that is used. So Hanumanji, as soon as he heard these four herbs names, he immediately set forth to the Himalayan mountains. And when he reached the Himalayan mountains, he saw there were thousands of herbs, and he was very confused which one is what. It's not that Hanuman didn't know the science of herbs. In fact, he had a blessing of the Hanumantra that he'll be able to recognize every single herb. But when you are in panic, when you are in a hurry, when you are in too much anxiety and worry, you can't think too clearly. So Hanuman was a little confused, and he got a little confused about which herb is what. He said, "See, I don't have the time to think and calmly choose the herbs." So he said, "When I have the ability to lift the entire mountain, why would I pick up few herbs?" He picked up the entire mountain and left with him. And when he was carrying this huge mountain on his on the palm of his hand, he reached back to Lanka, where the whole army was waiting for Hanuman's eager arrival. And as soon as Hanuman arrived, something fascinating happened. Even before the herbs were administered to Lakshman, Lakshman, revived simply by the smell of the thousands of herbs on the entire mountain. And you know what? The most amazing thing is, not only did Lakshman revive, but so many of the dead Vanaras, all the dead Vanaras, they all revived. They all got back life. So Hanuman had gone for Lakshman, but so many got the benefit of Hanuman bringing those that entire mountain back. And the most amazing thing is, in the side of Ravana, the army of the demons, Ravan had a policy. Any demon who died in the war, he would throw their body into the ocean. Why? Because he didn't want the enemies to count how many people are dead from his side. He just wanted it to be a secret. And because his soldiers were all thrown into the ocean, and they were, the dead bodies were lying inside the ocean floor. Therefore, unfortunately, though the mountain was brought and all the Vanaras got back to life, the enemies didn't get back to life. They all were lying dead in the ocean floor. Therefore, when you want to heal someone, the first thing is that you need to actually have patience. A lot of people, they want to have a healing experience, but they don't have the patience for the right herbs to come. They don't have the patience to find the right solution. They want immediate cure, or they will just give up hope. Ravana never ever thought in his life that it is possible to revive his demons. He just thought they are useless, dead bodies, and he threw them into the ocean. The body is very important. It's a vehicle for the soul. The body obviously is not as important as the soul, but body is the means by which you can actually take your journey in spiritual lives. Without the body, how will you take this journey? And therefore, it is very important to take care of the body well. And therefore, Ram, though the Vanaras were dead, he never threw the bodies into the ocean, but he preserved the bodies respectfully, knowing well that the body and the soul, they have a very intimate connection. And there are many things in nature that have the power and ability to revive that connection. So sometimes you find people who are almost on the verge of death. Science gives up. And those are the times when science gives up, those are the times where uh, Ayurveda and many of our mystical sciences come in picture. When nothing else can be done, there is still hope. And that kind of hope is what Hanumanji represents. That kind of hope is what all of us need to really focus on, because we need that hope to be able to survive, to be able to find a meaning, purpose, and not give up when we go through difficult times in life. A beautiful verse in Hanuman Chalisa, which again brings in this idea of Hanumanji's healing abilities. It says, Nasai rog hare sabapira, japat nirantara hanumat veera. It says, diseases are destroyed and pains disappear by constantly chanting the name of Hanuman. Now, obviously, when we say chanting the names of Hanuman, the name of Hanuman is not disconnected from the name of Ram. When we chant the name of Hanuman, we're actually immediately also associating with Lord Ram. Hanumanji has so many amazing powers by which he can help heal. Like for example, there is a very beautiful story of Hanumanji, which is about a demon who was sent by Ravan named Panchafan. Panchafan was a five-hooded snake, and each of the hoods of this five-hooded snake had a diamond on it. When a snake has a diamond on its hood, it's even more poisonous. And Ravan sent Panchafan to the Vanara kingdom to destroy all the powerful Vanaras. Panchafan, he knew that there is no way that he could destroy Hanumanji. But um, he realized that if I destroy the family of Hanuman and the Vanaras, then Hanuman will automatically die. So Panchafan actually went and bit Hanuman's father Keshari. And Hanuman, when he heard that his father was bit and many Vanaras were bit by Panchafan, he ran to that spot and actually caught the snake and began to rip off the diamonds from the head of the snake. Four of the five diamonds were ripped off by Hanumanji. And when the fifth diamond was going to be ripped off, it would have caused the death of Panchafan. But his mother, Panchafan's mother, stopped Hanumanji, requested him, please forgive my son. I promise you my son will never do anything wrong. Hanumanji decided to, he loosened his grip. He decided a mother is begging. He said, I can't be cruel so much. He left Panchafan, but he was still very sad about his father's, father being bit by the snake. And Panchafan's mother, she promised her that my son will help in every way. And that's when Panchafan, by this time, he was feeling very sad and bad that he had done so much damage to Hanuman, and he himself volunteered to help. Panchafan, he told Hanumanji that there is a particular herb called Vaishal Karna Pushpa. This grows on an island known as Prabal Dweep. And he said, if you can get me this flower, which is known as Vaishali Karna Pushpa, I can cure your father and all the Vanaras who are bitten by me. Of course, this particular flower can be only got by someone who had three qualities. The person had to be an innocent child, the person had to be a brahmachari, and the person had to be one of the three devas. And only such a person can enter into Prabal Dweepa, which is about 100 yojanas away in the south. And Hanumanji, without even waiting for a second, he flew and reached this particular place known as Prabaldesh. And in Prabaldesh, he found the place where this flower is kept. And there was a Brahma Rakshas who was guarding this flower. And Hanumanji, he knew that there must be a story behind this Brahma Rakshas. So Brahma Rakshas was swallowing everything, whatever came on the way, he would just swallow, swallow, swallow. Because the Brahma Rakshas in his previous life was a rishi, and this rishi had made a mistake, something he had done wrong, because of which he got cursed to become a Brahma Rakshas. But the curse also said the day this Brahma Rakshas swallows something divine, that day he'll be cured of this curse, and he will get back his original rishi position. And that is why this Brahma Rakshasa was just eating every single thing that he was able to find, because he didn't know what was that divine thing that had to enter his mouth. And somehow, while he was devouring everything, Hanumanji appeared, happened to be there, and he devoured Hanuman also. And as soon as Hanuman went into the mouth of the Brahma Rakshas, Hanumanji went in, tore open the belly of the Brahma Rakshas and came out. And the touch of Hanuman cured this Brahma Rakshas of his curse. And he got his original rishi position once again. And he told Hanumanji that because you saved me, because you helped me, I'll give you anything you want. And he gave him this flower, which was the remedy to the problems of his father. He picked up the Vishala Karna Pushpa that was given to him by this rishi and rushed back to Kishkinda, where Panchafan used this flower and the remedial measures of this flower to cure uh, Keshari and all the other vanaras of the disease of the snake bite. Hanuman is just amazing. Um, One of the most powerful medicines that Hanuman has is something that every human being should also consume. It is explained that Hanuman has the ability to help so many people, but where does he get this ability from? He gets ability from a very, very special power that he has, a very, very special medicine that he consumes. And what is that medicine? The Hanuman Chalisa says this in a beautiful way. It says, Rama Rasayana Tumare Pasa, Sadaraho Raghupati Ke Dasa. What is that Rasayan, that medicine that Hanuman has, which really gives him all these superpowers? That medicine is known as Rama Rasayana. And when someone consumes Ram Rasayan, the holy names of Lord Ram, the holy Katha of Lord Ram, that empowers a person to manifest all kinds of powers. Ayurveda is a very special thought to share. Ayurveda says that any disease, for it to be cured, you have to administer medicines to it. But for any medicine to work on the person, that medicine has to be administered along with the holy name of the Lord. So, whenever Ayurvedic medicines are given, the Ayurvedic acharyas traditionally would chant mantras to empower that medicine, those herbs, with so much of potency. And typically, those mantras that are chanted to empower those herbs are the holy names of the Lord. And therefore, Hanumanji, whatever he goes through in his life, whenever he goes through dejection, whenever he goes through despondency, whenever he goes through any kind of problems, and whenever he wants to find any cures, the simplest thing that he does is chant the names of Ram. And as soon as Ram Rasayana he takes, he consumes Ram Rasayan, immediately a solution comes into his life. All of us, we are indebted to Hanumanji for being such a powerful healer, but most importantly, we are indebted to Hanumanji for bringing us Ram Rasayan, understanding the value of Lord Ram's name and this beautiful Rasayan that Ram's name brings along with it. The Hanuman Chalisa is a treasure trove of information, of knowledge, of wisdom, of so much of the life of Hanumanji. This beautiful little book that I have written, it's called Hanuman Chalisa. You could find it anywhere on Amazon and everywhere else. This book contains every chopai of Hanuman Chalisa. In fact, every word of Hanuman Chalisa explained through stories. And these stories have such a powerful impact on our minds. So, on this very auspicious day of Ayurveda, International Ayurveda Day, I highly urge all of y'all to, to first associate with the great personality Hanumanji, who has the ability to heal, but more importantly, understand the medicine that he himself is consuming, the Rama Rasayana, and find a great value and great joy in consuming that medicine, just like Hanumanji himself does. And in this way, all of us will not only be healed, but we can also have the ability to heal many others. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and honor to serve all of you all by sharing these thoughts. And I wish all of you all a very prosperous, healthy, and a very healed life. Thank you. Hare Krishna.